Hello everyone and welcome to the Bodhi Academy. My name is Prachi Naik and this is our series of one-shot videos. In today's video, I'll be covering 10th Standard Science chapter Heredity. So, first of all, what is heredity? Okay, so heredity, it is the transfer of characters from the parents to the offsprings. Characters like skin color, height, okay, eye color, these are the characters. Now, where are these characters in the body? Okay, so during reproduction, what happens is male gametes and female gametes fuse. Okay, male gametes and female gametes are the sex cells. Okay, so in the sex cells there is what? There is a in any cell there is what? Nucleus. In the nucleus there is DNA. Okay, and in the DNA all the information is stored. Okay, information like all the characters, that is eye color, skin color, height. Okay, so male gametes and female gametes, they will fuse and they will form the zygote. In the zygote there will be the nucleus, and all in the nucleus there will be the DNA which will have the information. Okay, then we come to a term called as variation. Now what is variation? The difference in the characters among the individuals of a species, meaning you will get most of the characters from your parents, okay, but you will not look exactly like your parents, right? There will be some differences, so those differences are called as variations, and these variations, they are mostly seen in sexual reproduction and not in sexual reproduction. Okay, then what are traits? Traits are the observable characters of an organism, like the like height, which we can see. Okay, now these traits, they are acquired. There are two types of traits: acquired traits and inherited traits. Okay, so acquired traits are the ones which we acquire after birth, like we do ear piercing, or if we get any mark on our body, so it will not passed on to the other generation, right? It will be on us only. Then inherited traits are the ones which are inherited from the parents, okay, which are passed on from the parents to the offsprings. Okay, like the skin color or eye color, okay, or height. Okay, so these are the inherited traits. So acquired traits are not passed on, inherited traits, they are passed on. Okay, then we need to know some terms now. Okay, like DNA, chromosomes, homozygous, heterozygous. Okay, so first we'll see DNA. DNA, it is where it is present in the cell. There is a nucleus, and inside the nucleus DNA is present. Okay, so the DNA is what? It is thread-like structure present in the nucleus. Then what DNA contains? It has all the information, like all the characters, okay, like the skin color and all. Then it is inherits or passes from one generation to the another. Okay, then we come to chromosomes. Okay, chromosomes. In the chromosome, this chromosome, when it is present, when it exists during the it exists in chromatin form during the normal cell life. Okay, so chromatin, it is scattered form of DNA, meaning it will be open, like it will be not what it is, not coiled, not tightly coiled, it will be just open, like, okay, during its normal life cycle. But during cell division, what will happen? It will get packed. Okay, it will be highly coiled and condensed form of DNA, chromosomes. Okay, then during cell division, it is visible. Okay, the chromosomes will be clearly visible, and earlier it was what? It was chromatid. Okay, then we come to diploid cells and haploid cells. Okay, so inside the DNA there will be inside the nucleus there will be chromosomes. These chromosomes, okay, there are diploid cells and haploid cells. In diploid cells there will be two copies of each chromosome. Okay, so one chromosome will be it will have two copies. Okay, and in haploid there will be only a single copy of the chromosome. So in diploid cells there are two copies of each chromosome. Okay, except what? Except sex cells. In humans there are 46 chromosomes, that is 23 pairs. Okay, except sex cells. Okay, sex cells will be, one will come from the mother and one will come from the father in sex cells. Okay, so it will be haploid, single copy, and here sex cells or gametes of human beings are involved, that is 23 chromosomes. Here there are how many? 46 chromosomes and 23 pairs, but in haploid cells there are 23 chromosomes. One will come from mother and one will come from father. Okay, same we'll see here. And when we write diploid, we write 2n, and when we write haploid, we write only n, because it is only one. Okay, and then in male gametes, first there will be 46 chromosomes, right? That is 23 pairs. Okay, so now it is in pairs, so it is diploid. Okay, in females also there will be 43 chromosomes, that is 23 pairs, and it is diploid. Okay, so when we write male and female, we use symbols, which all should know. Okay, then males, after this, the chromosomes, there will be meiosis. Okay, and after meiosis, male gametes will be formed. Here male gametes and here female gametes. So here the male gametes are sperms and female gametes are what? Egg. Okay, and this will be what now? This will be haploid, because only one copy will be here. Okay, so this will be haploid, and then the zygote will be formed. Okay, in zygote, one chromosome will come from here and one will come from here. That is, one will come from mother and one will come from the father, and zygote will be formed. Now one copy has come from here, so it will become diploid. Okay, then we come to gene. Gene, it is the segment or part of DNA that carries information of a particular character. So on the in one cell there will be approximately 20,000 genes. Okay, so on one chromosome, this part, for example, on the chromosome, this part, it will be denoted for, it will be given for color of skin. Okay, then the other part will be gene for eye color. So genes, they are the particular part, okay, or segment of the DNA, okay, which will carry the particular information. Okay, then we come to alleles. Alleles are, it is an alternative variant or form of genes, meaning in sex cells, what was happening, one will come from the mother and one will come from the father, right? So it will be a copy, the same chromosome will come from mother and father. Okay, so on one chromosome, this is the cell, and inside the cell there is both the chromosomes are there, pair of chromosome. Okay, so on one, there is at one place both the same character will be there. Okay, like on top there is gene for height. Okay, and the character is one side, from the male it is tall and the female it is short. Okay, so this is called as what? Alleles. Like that only, there is another gene for skin color. Okay, down there is what? Skin color dark, which is from the male, that is the father, and the fair color is from the female. Okay, then we come to dominant alleles and recessive alleles. Dominant alleles are those which are very strong. Okay, and recessive alleles are weak alleles. Then these are dominant alleles are denoted by capital letters. For example, if the character is tall, then there will be capital T, and if the character is round, okay, it will be what? Capital R. And recessive genes, here it is denoted by small letters. Okay, so tall, here the dominant character was tall, here the recessive character is short, so here it will be expressed using small t. Okay, and wrinkled seeds, so here it will be expressed by small t. Then we come to heterozygous and homozygous. Okay, so in dominant alleles, homozygous meaning same allele will be there, like here capital T for tall. Okay, and here in heterozygous it will be small t meaning tall character and short character. Okay, so capital T and small t. Okay, so in dominant alleles, it is expressed, both the homozygous and heterozygous characters are expressed. In recessive alleles, only the homozygous is expressed. Okay, then we come to phenotype and genotype. So if there are two plants, okay, one is tall and one is short, okay, the observable characters are what? Tall and short, right? So the observable characters, which we can see the appearance of the characters, it is called as what? Phenotype. Okay, which we can see like tall and short. And genotype is it will be the alleles, you can say, that is, yeah, the letters which we use. We don't know, right, what will be the genes inside, if it will be tall or short. We will be only able to see when the plant is actually there. So the genes are called as genotype. Okay, then there was a scientist called as Gregor Mendel, okay, and he gave the laws of inheritance. So what he did was he took pea plant, okay, and he grew them, and he wanted to study the characters, okay, if the characters are passed on from one generation to the other, meaning if they are passed on from the parents to the offsprings and then further on. Okay, then why did he choose pea plant only? Because pea plant had short lifespan, okay, so he did not have to wait for long time to complete its life cycle, so it was quick. Then it produced large number of flowers, large number of offsprings, okay, and there were 7 contrasting traits, okay, so that is why he chose pea plant. Now, which were the contrasting traits he studied, okay. So, first trait is shape of the seeds, it was round or wrinkled. Then color of the seeds, yellow or green. Then color of the pods, okay, green or yellow, capital G and small g. Dominant and recessive. Shape of the pods, full or constricted. Then plant height, tall or short. Then position of the flower at leaf junction, either it was at the leaf junction, that was the, yeah, which was the at the base of the leaf, and the other was the at the tip of the branches, okay, that is on the top. Then flower color, either it was violet or white. Okay, so now we'll see monohybrid cross, okay. So in this type of cross, only it is the inheritance of one character, okay. Here only inheritance of one character is studied, okay. So here we'll take height of plant. First we have parents. So here the parents are pure tall and pure dwarf, okay. So when it is tall is a dominant character, so the letters will be capital, so capital T and pure dwarf, so it will be small t small t. Okay, then the gametes formed are T, T, T and T. Okay, then there will be what? Crossing over here. Okay, and the first generation which will get is this and this. So T, capital T and small t. Then this with this, again capital T and small t. Okay, so like this we will get 4 offsprings. Okay, and here all are same, right? All are same. So 100% tall plants. So here the phenotype is the character which is which we can see is tall, and the genotype is capital T and small t. Okay, now if we take this this offsprings of the first generation, and if we do selfing with it, F1 with F1, okay, we'll see what happens. So the parents here are capital T and small t, capital T and small t. Okay, so if we do crossing over here, again capital T, so here capital T with capital T, then capital T with small t, okay, then small t with capital T and small t small t. So here what we have got is in the F2 generation, this is tall, 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 so 3 tall and only 1 is short. Okay, so the ratio, the phenotypic ratio here which we can see is 3:1, and the genotypic ratio which is with respect to the alleles is 1 is capital T, then the other one is capital T small t which is 2, okay, and the third one is small t which is 1. Okay, then we come to dihybrid cross. Here it is inheritance of 2 characters at a time. Here we study the inheritance of 2 characters at once. Okay, so here the parents we have taken are pure tall plant and round seeds, okay, which is denoted by capital T and round seeds by capital R and capital R, and the female here is pure short and wrinkled seeds. Okay, so pure short it will be capital small t and wrinkled seeds small r. Okay, then here the gametes will be capital T and capital R, then capital T and capital R, small t, small r, small t, small r. Okay, so here the first generation will be capital T and small t. Here it will be tall, all are tall and round. Okay, so here the phenotype is tall and round, and the genotype here is capital T small t, capital R small r. Okay, then if we take offspring of this and if we do again selfing to get the second generation, what we will get? So here the parents are capital T and small t, capital R and small r, capital T, small t, same. Okay, then here the gametes will be, okay, so here we are using a box method. Okay, so here it is, the female gametes are capital T and capital R. Okay, then capital T and small r, small t and capital R, and small t and small r. Okay, so when we are crossing this, when we are writing the this gametes here, so what we will write is we will write the capital letters first, dominant ones first, and then the small letters. Okay, so capital T, capital T, capital T, and capital R and capital R. Okay, so we have done this, and according to this, there are, in F2 generation we get 16 offsprings. Okay, in this the phenotypic ratio is 9:3:1. Okay, so 9 is tall and round, the ones which I have marked with red pen. Okay, and tall and wrinkled are 3, the ones I have marked with black pen, and 3 short and round with blue pen, marked with blue pen, and the one is short and wrinkled. Okay, so the ratio, phenotypic ratio which we get is 9:3:3:1. Okay, then we come to based on this, Mendel had given laws of inheritance. Okay, so first there are 3 laws of inheritance. So first law is law of dominance. So it says that when an inherited pair which is heterozygous, the allele which is expressed, it will be dominant, the allele which will express is dominant, and the other one will be recessive. Okay, so according to law of dominance, when there is a heterozygous pair, what will happen? The allele which will express, for example, if there is capital T and small t, so obviously the capital T will be expressed and it will be the dominant one. Okay, so the one which is expressed, it is dominant one. Okay, then we come to law of segregation. Okay, here during gamete formation, alleles are segregated such that each gamete will get only one allele. Okay, so in which, for example, if tall, in tall there will be only one gamete, that is T. Okay, then law of independent assortment, it says that alleles of different genes are inherited independently, meaning, for example, if there is a gene for height, okay, it will be tall and short, right? So only one allele will be given to the offspring. Okay, then we come to sex determination. Here in humans, as I had told, there are 23 pairs of chromosomes, and the last pair, the 23rd pair, will be the sex chromosomes. Okay, so in males there are from male there will be one chromosome will be taken from the male and one will be from the female. Okay, so here there is in male there is X and X chromosomes, and in males there is X and Y, and in females there is X and X. Okay, so the gametes here are X, Y and X and X. Okay, so if we cross them, what we will get in the zygote is XX. So when there is XX, what we will get is girl. Okay, so when there is XX, it will denote a girl, and when we get XY, it is a boy. Okay, so the male can give either X or Y, but the female can give only X. Okay, so with this we finish the lesson. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have understood. Okay, I'll see you in the next video. Till then, like, share and subscribe to the Bodhi Academy. Thank you.